Hi, and welcome to
Get Real with the
English Sisters.
Hi there, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. We're going to be talking about resilience today.
And how resilient are we all? How resilient are you?
And what Freud has to say about this. I'm sure he had very many interesting things to say about resilience.
Oh, he said that
What did he say?
He said that stifled emotions will come out in one way or other. So I think that's
that makes a lot of sense.
It's got
doesn't
something
it?
to do. No, they'll come out in haven't you got the quote there? They'll come out in a worse way if you stifle your emotions.
Well, yeah, if you stifle them, I can't find it now.
And I think that's got a lot to do with resilience, because I think people, maybe the ones that aren't as resilient, maybe they keep all their emotions bottled up and then they'll come out later. They don't help.
People that aren't that resilient.
Well, yeah, I think the non-resilient ones are the ones that stifle their emotions, like what Freud said.
Right, I see. Yeah, no, I can't find it now. I mean, Freud had a lot of things to say about resilience, about the fact that life may not come with a map and everyone experiences all these twists and turns. It's stuff that we all know really nowadays, isn't it?
It is.
I think more than, obviously Freud could teach us so many things, but more than that, what we really have to come to understand is that resilience is a very ordinary thing.
But I think it's inbuilt, isn't it?
It's inbuilt in all of us, yeah.
But I think we can nurture resilience.
Oh, definitely. I think resilience is a bit like a muscle.
Yeah.
That if you never ever use it and you never exercise, it's going to be very weak within you. But if you train it and you pump it up and you have to work on being more resilient, I think.
I think in the end, I think that's a myth about life, is that people think that you don't have to work at life. Like, you don't have to work at relationships. You don't have to work at getting up every day. You don't have to work at having a good day. I think people think that all comes naturally.
But we know.
But maybe as children it does come naturally.
No, it doesn't.
Do children have to work?
Are you joking? Children have to go through so many adversities.
I know,
just
but
think about.
Do they think it's like work? Can you remember when you were little, if you thought it was like work, or did it just sort of happen to you?
Well, things happen. You're not that
I
aware
suppose
about
you're not in control when you're little.
No.
You're not in charge. Your mum and dad, if you're lucky enough.
Yeah, if you're lucky to have a family.
Your two mums or two dads tell you what to do, don't they? But your parents, I suppose.
You don't. The concept of resilience obviously is not. It's not one that a child would think about. A child doesn't know what resilience is, but a child is resilience in the purest of form. If you observe a toddler, for example, what's going to happen? When he's learning how to walk, what does he do? He falls, and then what does he do? He pops back up again and again and again. So, just looking at babies and children and toddlers can prove to us that we are pure resilience. But then what happens as we grow up? What happens then?
Do we feel entitled that we shouldn't have to be resilient?
I think so. I think at a certain point in our lives, what happens is that we begin to go through
we become conscious.
Conscience? What's that?
We become conscious of how...
Oh, right, conscious. I thought conscient. I thought, what? Okay. Yeah, no, I think it's not that we become conscious. What did you say?
Conscious.
Oh, well, whatever. Conscious. Oh, it's not that we become conscious of our actions. It's that we become so used to doing the same things, and that life, after a while, we kind of think we know what's going to happen. Whereas when we're babies and toddlers, we don't expect things at all. So we need to be so resilient in order to bounce back from all these things that keep on happening to us, like falling down or people saying no, or not the child taking our toy away and things like that. We have to develop that kind of resilience. Whereas I think as growing up, we kind of, get used to things
being... Take it for granted.
Take for granted, yeah. You don't need to be so resilient in your everyday life. But then again, as we all know, There are many twists and turns in all of our adult lives. So you do need to be resilient. And I mean, you can have a breakup, go through a divorce, go through some kind of a grievance.
Yeah, everyone.
I mean, everything.
Everybody has adversity. If you're alive, you've had it.
If you're alive, exactly. I mean, there is no way to get away from life's challenges. And I think you can't get away from them.
No.
The only thing you can do is develop...
challenge them.
To challenge them and to develop a resilient mindset.
That's good.
Develop this resilient mindset. That's the only thing you can do.
Which is to focus maybe on the good things that happen as well. A bit like what we discussed in our other podcast.
Yeah, I guess so.
Instead of focusing on the faults.
It's also to become more empowered. I think within yourself you have to also take. I think, look, when something bad happens to all of us, the important thing
is
bad or sad. Yeah, that's. But it's not always. I mean, it doesn't always have to be something bad or sad to develop resilience.
Well, upsetting.
Not only upsetting, it could be just a challenge, like a technical challenge. For example, with all this tech stuff we go through now, it could be just a challenge. And if you're not resilient enough to be able to go ahead with that challenge, you say, I can't be bothered with this.
Yeah, or you get upset or start shouting.
Get upset, start shouting. And
have a short fuse, get angry.
Get angry and just give up.
And give up.
But the resilient folk, they might get angry and they might blow a fuse, but then they say, no, this is a challenge.
This has to be done.
So you kind of accept that challenge, don't you? And then you go through with it.
If you take it with a fighting spirit.
Fighting. Yeah. I think if you just think about, if you become aware of the fact that you can become more resilient, I think it's all about awareness in the end, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about training your mind again.
Training your mind, to sort through your thoughts that are not helpful and the thoughts that are helpful, and understanding that you are more resilient than what you think you are.
So you can take courage in that.
You can take courage, yeah.
And that can be really, it can help you, can't it? Because if you think you're not resilient, in the end it's very debilitating.
Well, yes, obviously, if you've got those thoughts going through your mind saying, no, I'm never going to make it. I'm never going to make it. I won't be able to, how am I going to survive now? How am I going to go through with this? I can't be whatever alone. Or
why me? Why did it happen to me?
Yeah, why did I have to get this thing now in my life? If you're thinking those, it's perfectly okay to think those thoughts.
Of course.
Of course.
Acknowledge them.
Like what we were saying, that's what Freud says. You have to acknowledge these kind of
and
sadness
accept them.
You have to accept them. But then I think if the thought comes along, the next thought is, well,
what can I do about this?
Let me not forget how resilient I really am. How resilient we all are. Let me not forget this. Okay, so I'm going through this and this and this, and it sounds like it's horrible, whatever.
Yeah, it's a bit like that, this too shall pass.
Exactly,
Oprah always says.
Really?
Well, she says that.
Yeah, I've heard of that so many times. This too shall pass. Yeah, I think that is like the actual, it could be the little, the phrase for resilience as well.
Yes.
This too shall pass. It's the whole phrase symbolises resilience, doesn't it? Because
it does.
The actual strength in those few little words, that it's really quite brilliant, really. That is resilience in per se. Just like the toddler standing up again, just like the baby. All the things we've all done in our lives that we all forget about. Imagine, learning how to write. That wasn't easy.
Learning how to talk.
All
that vocalization.
Goodness me, all that practice we had to go through. And now it's just, we've forgotten about that because we're grown up.
That's all taken for granted.
Yeah, but how resilient are we really? I mean, it's like a little story we wrote in one of our books about the resilient daisy.
Yeah, an entrancing tales for change.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, those tiny little weeny flowers that grow on the lawn, how resilient are those little things? I mean, a big, giant human being can step on that flower. We did this test before writing the tale. And you can step on that daisy, and if you watch, just you closely look at the daisy, you'll see it within the next few moments. It'll just pop back up again. It'll simply just bounce back as if, you know, all that weight hadn't even been on it. So that made us think, you know, we could all be resilient. We are resilient like the daisies. And
maybe what we need to do is just pause a minute and just take a deep breath.
Exactly, yeah.
And just breathe in what's in the now. Just breathe in the now and say, in this moment, I am okay now, without my past, without my present, as I am now.
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah.
Because most of us, right in the now, unless we're in extreme pain or something.
You mean most of us are not in the now?
No, but when most of us in the actual now,
we're okay.
Yeah, unless you're in extreme pain or in an extreme circumstance, you are mostly, I would say, like 80% in the actual moment.
You're okay.
You're okay.
So what you're doing is you're remembering, or you're thinking about the future, but you're not actually in the moment.
I think if you actually ground yourself into the now, that would also be a recipe for resilience.
A recipe for resilience. Ground yourself like a daisy into the now. Think of the daisy and imagine you are just like that little daisy in the ground, and you're so much stronger than what you actually
think you are.
Or remember.
You are.
You are, because you've forgotten how strong you really are. So, yeah, definitely. This really is getting real, isn't it, today?
Well, I think if you are always in the future, in the past, you're not in the now, and then you deprive yourself of enjoying the now, which mostly the now is okay or quite good.
Yeah, yeah. And that's sad how we all kind of do that, unless we
do it.
We say, hey, hang on a minute, well, you know, you have to really sort of, sure.
But I think that's what's amazing about us as well, that we can be in the past or the future.
Yeah, we're not
we're not just in the now. So that's why we're so creative, and maybe that's why we're so resilient as well. It's all, I suppose it all goes...
It's all connected, isn't it? Yeah.
It's all connected, but I think a little bit of everything is probably good, in moderation, I suppose.
Well, if you remember the past and you learn from your past and you take that feedback, it can help you be more resilient in the now and in today, because you can remember the challenges you faced and everything else that you've gone through, or maybe a friend has gone through.
Yeah, and I think that's also a good point. I think nowadays we tend to take on too much. So we tend to take on this too much overload of things that would make us not be resilient. Like there's just too much for one person to cope with all the world news and everything that's going on that we have really no control over. So I think that's why there's so much depression and anxiety now and today, because we really try and take on the world's problems on our shoulders, on our backs.
Yeah,
and it's just too much.
It's just too much.
It's just too much, and I think we have to go back to more simplicity. What are we in the moment, in the now? If everything's okay, where we actually are, without trying to take on the world's problems.
No, that's
all the wars, the climate change,
and
everything.
And all you have to do is pick up your phone and you can see the entire problems that are going on.
In 1 second.
And yet you have that sadness and the adrenaline those kind of problems can create within you. But there's not much unless you're actually going to go and give aid and actually do take an action. These kind of feelings can just stay inside you and create anxiety and stress. Because if you think about it, we're not really designed to be that way, are we?
No.
We were designed to live in small little villages where if the next door lady was sick or whatever, you'd go and bring her the broth or whatever you would do. And you wouldn't feel like it was a whole world. No, it was like a tiny little village of 20
and usually
people.
You'd be able to help as well, directly.
Normally you'd be able to, either you'd knit a blanket or go and give her something, or if she was grieving or something had happened, or him,
you'd also take comfort from that helping, because you'd have the human connection, so you'd be able to feel, so you help each other. And so you bond,
and
then you process, and you bring something more beautiful comes out of it, more resilience and more stronger.
You're all stronger together. Yes. You give hugs. You know, that's how we were designed to be like that. Yeah. We weren't designed to be able to just absorb it. The truth is, we can't absorb it. No. It is not actually absorbed. It's not digested, all this information that we do receive. And it stays within us, and it causes disease and anxiety. So definitely, well, that's why really we don't really like looking at the news much.
Well, we don't, do we?
We don't, no.
No, we don't watch it. But I mean, now it's on your phones, but we switch off all the notifications, and you still find out about it.
You find out, we know.
There's no way of getting away from it unless you went into the forest somewhere and you had no communication with anyone, I think.
Yeah. There is no way, but you can protect yourself. And you can understand that if there's nothing you can do about it, then why do you have to experience that emotion? You can be informed, but in a gentle way, without actually having to go to experience those strong emotions, I think, that you can't do anything about.
And I think what's really sad is that those strong emotions, in the end, they make you less of a nice person, less of a good person with the direct people that you're in touch with, because they just make you anxious and stressed and depressed.
Exactly.
And then you'll transmit that to your children, your family, your friends, which are probably all mostly in the same situation as you, if they're all doing the same thing. And then it just becomes a whole, it's not very nice, is it? Whereas if you focus on things that are helpful, things that are good, things that are nice, things that are sunny, you will be able to transmit that and be more empowered to be actually, if you have to help, you help. But if you can't help, you don't help. But you'll feel more in control, and you'll probably make your life better, which in turn will make the lives of the people around you better. And then that'll radiate positivity all around you.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know it's very difficult because we have so much overload that it is really hard to do.
Yes, it is actually very difficult to do. I mean, here personally, I've got, for example, I've got my husband who's watching the news all the time now, and with this terrible war and everything that's going on in Ukraine, it is difficult to say, okay, just to ground yourself and think, okay, I am okay for today.
Yeah.
Without going into the lives of all these people that are suffering, especially if you're a bit of an empath. I mean,
I think what you said as well, is everyone has their turn to suffer.
Yes.
So why suffer today when you have to suffer tomorrow?
Well, yeah, that was my take on it for that day when I told you, because we were actually we were so upset, we were literally crying about this and thinking, and then I just had the thought, okay, yes, it's true, people are suffering out there today, but we are in the now and we are not in this moment suffering. So let's, I know it sounds awful to say let's enjoy.
It sounds selfish.
It sounds selfish,
but it's not.
It's not selfish, because if you can be okay and enjoy your sunny moment today, then that'll make you stronger for the time when tomorrow you will need that sunshine within you, and if you're always depleting it, you're always taking the sunshine out, taking it out because you're sad about something else, some war or some hurricane or something awful that's happened, which always does on the media. There's no way of getting away from it. either it's the pandemic or it's something, then you are depleting yourself of that sunshine.
Your natural resources.
And your natural resilience. So definitely we have to think about that, I think, and protect ourselves from it too.
With the sunshine within.
With the sunshine within, yeah. Try and grab as many moments of happiness you can.
With sunshine within, you can send rays of sunshine out.
Oh, yeah. Very clever. Yes, you can. Yes, if you have your sunshine
you can have
within.
Sunny smiles.
You can have the sunshine within you, yes, and it can feel warm and
it feels
comfortable.
warm to those around you as well.
It does, yeah. And you can think, you know, I mean, it made me, I mean, I was just reading about this, the war that's going on now. And there was a young Ukrainian girl, and she wrote, "Please don't stop posting pictures of cats on Instagram because they make me happy." So there you go. I mean, that's like, it's like what we were saying is if we all become so terribly upset about all of this, in the end, we won't be able to share
that. As hypnotherapists as well, we know that if we become too upset by our client's story, of their experience, we can't help them, can we? We go in with them into that terrible place that they're in.
Exactly, you cannot
We can't help them come out of it.
So as therapists, we know that, but also as individuals, I think if we all become a little bit aware of this, that we have to maintain our own happiness in order to be strong and to be resilient for the days to come. Sounds like too moody. Sounds terrible. No, I mean, just for the next challenges or whatever.
And each challenge can make you stronger and wiser.
And definitely wiser. They make you wiser.
They do, don't they?
They definitely do. You learn from them. You understand them. And yeah, you grow. I mean, definitely. What's it say here about resilience? Psychologists define resilience as a process of adapting well in the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, threats, or significant sources of stress, such as family, relationship problems, problems with your boss. Mm-hmm. I hadn't thought about that. Goodness me.
That's very common.
That's very common, having to be resilient with your boss.
And I think being bossy with your boss, don't let them boss you about too much.
You have to be bossy with him. You have to be assertive. Definitely, yeah.
If you've got a bad boss.
There it says, becoming more resilient not only helps you get through difficult circumstances, it also empowers you to grow and even improve your life along the way.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. I mean, improve your life along the way. It's all about that, really, improving your life and the life of others, isn't it?
Well, I think that's what life's about, really. I mean, I think if you can improve your life and improve the life of those around you, then you've had a good life.
You've definitely had a good life, yeah. Even if you're on your deathbed, if you back to doom and gloom, you're on your death. I mean, sometimes
we're all going to die, aren't we?
We're all going to die, and I think we don't remember it enough. I don't know if we're being very but the fact is, I think if you do have the awareness of death in your future, you do kind of appreciate. You do appreciate. Well, like people that have had really bad health scares.
Oh, yeah.
You see them. Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, you're just like la 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 la, and then something happens and you freaking out, and then you think, where's the la 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 gone? I mean,
La La Land.
Yeah, it's gone. It's literally gone, the la la la. So, I mean, it instead, if you're aware that, you know,
I think having a laugh as well helps a lot, doesn't it? I think that's why they laugh at like at funeral wakes. There's a lot of laughter afterwards.
Is there? There's not here in Italy.
Well, in the UK there is.
We actually laughed. We laughed, yeah. In a sad kind of way.
It seems like if you can't laugh, you have to laugh to like let the emotion breathe. Like what Freud said.
Yeah, let it out.
Talk about it.
Well, here, you know what they say in Italy, rido per non piangere, which means I laugh so as I do not cry.
And that's a similar.
So
it's the same expression in England, isn't it? UK.
Oh, well, I mean, I've lived here in Italy for so long now. I can't, I don't.
There must be.
I laugh so that I do not cry.
Yeah, I don't think it said like.
We'll be laughing our heads off now. Oh, well, I don't know, but I think it just means you're bringing up an emotion.
Expressing your emotion.
So you're either going to cry or you're going to laugh,
Yeah,
and
do you
it's both
remember,
strong
like,
emotion.
Children, they do that a lot as well. They laugh when they're feeling stressed out. And the teachers tell them off. What are you laughing at?
No, I don't.
No, that's
really
actually quite
well.
common.
You mean like giggling? Giggling.
No,
yeah.
but even laughing or smiling when you really
when you're stressed.
Yeah, when you're stressed out.
Oh, definitely that nervous grin.
That's nervous.
Yeah, that's like the nervous laughter, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But it's still bringing something out, which is good for resilience. So focus on trying to bring out your emotions. How are you really
talk about
feeling?
them.
Yeah, talk about
talk
it.
them over.
Who do you talk it over with? Your family?
Your family?
Friends?
Even yourself if you haven't got anyone. You can write a diary or you can write them down.
Journal it, yeah.
Or you can just talk to yourself. Talk to your pet. Talk to your plants. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Even talking out loud, you can actually hear yourself verbalizing it. And it can help you, obviously.
And you can think, I am becoming more resilient day by day. Mm-hmm. I'm getting stronger.
And then look for the sunshine and look for the light. The next day will be a different day. It's a new day.
I am so much more resilient than what I think I am. You know, if you have those kind of thoughts going through your head, that's going to make a difference. And when you do face the challenge, think, okay.
I think it empowers you, doesn't it? It stops like you
The
feeling as
victim
if you're
mode.
like a victim and that everything happens to you and that you have, once again, when things happen to you, you have no control over them. So you just get overwhelmed. And then it's natural to feel depression, anxiety, stress and everything. But if you feel as if you have control and you can overcome them and you can live through them, not even necessarily overcome, but just live through them
and grow
with them.
Yeah. It's a bit like that pottery,
it's
isn't
like
it?
That's Japanese, what I was just thinking. The same thing. It was telepathic.
Yeah, telepathic. It was.
I said they fix it with the gold.
Yeah,
the
with
pottery,
the
vases that break. It's that ancient art.
It's so symbolic, isn't it? It's actually fixed with gold, so it's
more beautiful.
Even more beautiful than it was before. So not only was it broken before, but now it's fixed with gold. So I mean, you could think that way too. I am going to be fixed with gold, you know. This is going to...
I will be more golden.
More golden. I will be even better than before.
That's a nice thought.
That's a lovely thought. Yeah. So I've gone through these challenges, but it's going to make me better than before. Yeah. Definitely.
Very beautiful. Okay, I think then. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap, definitely, yeah. Taken us on our little
Tell us in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube or if you're listening on the podcast. Get in touch and be happy.
Be happy, yes. And remember, you are much more resilient than you remember, that you can remember. You are so much more resilient.
Than you know.
Exactly.
Okay, lots of love. Bye-bye from me. English sisters. Bye everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.